We're being told to follow the golden rule, and yet we're living in a world absolutely divided, full of competition, full of destruction, full of suffering. We were given one rule, one rule. People who are choosing not to, a willful refusal. Right? Some just choose to hurt others. We're being taught a lot of BS about what appropriate behavior is. We have a society that's teaching us, look out for number one and be successful. Treat other people like shit because they're going to do it, and you should lie and cheat and steal. I don't have to follow it because others aren't following it. Just ignore it because everybody else does. It's all BS. We're stretching it, right? We make exceptions. You only need to be kind to people of your own group. And even then, if they treat you badly, then you can go ahead and get your vengeance. This is something that's been, unfortunately, quite mistaught. If you cause harm to someone, you're meant to make restitution financially equivalent to it. You're not meant to put someone's eye out because they put your eye out. Oh, well, it's okay to do this because I don't mind either. One of the things that's been really mistaught is that all it means is don't do any harm and you're free to do whatever you want, and you get to define harm any way you want. So basically you can do whatever you want. Avoiding doing harm is like the bare minimum. We've got the trolls and the cynics who say, oh, it's cancel culture and you're limiting my freedom because you're not allowing me to be prejudiced and bully and disrespect. The golden rule doesn't mean that everybody gets to do whatever they want. If people are trying to tell you, convince you that the point of life is to fulfill your selfish desires, and that self-care is about looking out only for yourself and it doesn't matter about everyone else, and setting boundaries is about being indifferent to the suffering of others, claiming that this is a matter of survival of the fittest. Charles Darwin did not come up with the idea of survival of the fittest. It was actually Herbert Spencer, and he was applying it to social Darwinism and basically using it to justify intense capitalist competition. Darwin actually talked about the importance of sympathy and how species survival actually depends on cooperation and collaboration and consideration of each other. The golden rule doesn't mean that you let others harm you. The rule does not require that we sacrifice ourselves. Nobody is supposed to be suffering. That's the whole point. We have a responsibility to take care of ourselves and to make sure that we are safe, and others as well. You can't help others until you have taken care of yourself. It doesn't mean that you only take care of yourself. It just means that if you're not practicing the rule towards yourself and you're not taking care of yourself and you're out of balance, you're in no position to be teaching or trying to work with others. Not meant to be admired or followed or emulated. They're the false prophets, right? They're meant to test us and train us and teach us to make much, much better decisions. And we're given figures like that to show us what happens when we go to the extreme of completely ignoring the rule. It's all a bunch of cynical trolls trying to promote their own worldview. And it's up to us to say, no, that's not the world I want. I never said this rule was easy. It's a test, really. And particularly on the path, we get tested on our knowledge and our adherence to the rule over and over and over. And when we intend to harm, and that includes controlling, we are making a mistake and we're going to get dinged, right? It's not just our conscience. We're going to face consequences. If we are wearing certain clothes because we think it makes us pious, and we're going to certain buildings and reciting certain things, but we're not treating others with decency and respect, and we're seeing ourselves as superior, entitled, more important because of our religion or our skin color or our physical ability or our mental, gender orientation. If you're making exceptions, you're not following the rule. So all of those practices are a waste of time. We've lost the path when we are mocking and harming and hurting others. It completely disrupts your path. You will end up stagnant. You will not make progress because your heart's not in it, right? That's what that phrase means. Authenticity is not just a word. It's about really coming from your heart, approaching from a place of earnestly wanting to do good. It's pretty funny because when you think about it, all these people who are calling themselves religious and moral and ethical, how many of them are really following the rule? We still always have the freedom to choose, and that's extremely important. No matter what we've been taught, no matter how much we've been conditioned, in every moment we have the freedom to make new choices. And for a lot of us, we know what's the right thing to do, but we're not necessarily doing it. Cynicism, and really moving past that and saying, we individually and collectively can choose to be better. We are better. We're better than this. We know, but we need a reminder. Because if we don't fully master this very fundamental concept about how we look and behave and think towards ourselves, and how we look and think and behave towards others, we can't go anywhere from here. We're going to end up in this discord. This is dire, where our world is very much at risk. And imagine what would happen if we all just followed the rule. And we say, you know what? I'm going to be a badass and I'm just going to follow the rule. Because here's the thing, it's also a blessing to yourself, right? And when we follow the rule, everything gets showered onto us. And that's gets us back to the cosmic joke and the secret of the spiritual path and the mystical path and what have you.